canopies.
Hi, I'm Lenny Baticki from PRN at the Track, and you're watching Jack Dodson's Racing Insider with Scott Allen and Adam Wellbrock.
All right, thank you, Lenny. We're going through our sponsors. I made a mistake, and I'm sure I'm going to hear about it in a few minutes, but we'll start over again. This is 75 years here at Langley Speedway, and I want to thank Bill and Chuck and the boss lady, Terry. Miles of Seamless Gutters. Appreciate all they do for us. They did the end of the year. They did the end of the year giveaway for our sponsorship. Factory Canopies and Airlock. They're the two companies there together. I want to thank Todd Davis for all he does for us. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and he gave us table covers, and I got a tent, and I got some other stuff he's done for us. So appreciate him being like giving us that stuff. S&M Communications, Brian Morehouse. Thank Brian. He's been with us since day one, so we appreciate Brian. It's about that time again, Adam.
Earl Eddie, stop by.
Fast Eddie's Barbecue. We need some barbecue.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so we need some.
No more Bonner Brothers for him though.
Yeah, tell me about it, because once we give him that moonshine, we ain't seen nothing of him since.
Saw it again.
Mean Dean's Automotive, along with Greer and Associates from down in Moyock. I'll let you do it this time.
Hopefully he's here this weekend. Oh, Mean Dean.
Yeah, he missed the first race. Said the car wasn't ready.
Yeah.
RDS Performance, Robert Skinnell and Nine Toed Skinnell, I guess I should say. And man, he has really got a lot of cars and a lot of stuff he's working with. Yeah. And that's a pretty big deal for him. Gator Graphics. I want to thank Sammy Gator. He's done a lot of stuff doing off and on for us. Appreciate it. SMS, Southampton Motor Speedway. The place you and I know a little bit about. They do a lot of drifting out there now, but I don't know the drifting game, so I can't say anything about it. But I went out there, I tried to get used to it, but still can't do it. So anyway. Robert Rummels and Mosquito Joe. He said last week he's just started his spraying and everything. If you go to him and say you watch Jack Dodson'S Racing or Langley Speedway, he will cut 50% off your bill if you do that. So that's a pretty big deal. Pepsi, the drink of choice with Scott and I. He does Mountain Dew. I do Pepsi. So that's a big deal. Tanya McAllister and MPM Marketing. She does press releases, marketing, social media stuff, and everything for drivers. She does driver suits, helmets, everything. And she did she did a driver suit for our champion, not our champion, but our giveaway winner last year. That was a pretty big deal. Bonnet Brothers Distillery. Hey, I got to get up there and get some more moonshine in. You know.
Just don't tell Eddie.
No, I can't tell Eddie. I can't really tell Scott either, but anyway. So, Slinger Speed, the official apparel of Jack Dodson'S Racing Insider News. We appreciate Tim and everything he does over there. Papa John's, they give us 2 pizzas every week for our show, so if you get hungry, there's pizza over there. Right, DALFORD, you may want to take some back with you.
Headed tonight.
And GAC, Great American Companies, appreciate Guillermo Amaya. He's been with us since about the 2nd year we've been doing this, and it's a big deal to have him involved with us at the same time. So we appreciate that. All right, let's do a little news from this past weekend. In the Cup Series, Kyle Larson got the win. I think Kyle Larson's going to be pretty good someday. It looks like it. Anyway. He also won in the Xfinity race. The truck race was won by Chandler Smith, and he finished 2nd in the truck race. So that's pretty good. The Cars Tour was at Cordell, Georgia, And Connor Hall got the win down there. And Tristan McKee got the pro late model win. And Keelan Harvick got the pole for his first ever pro late model race down there.
He did well.
So, down at Mobile, Bubba Pollard got the win. Hickory Motor Speedway had the smart mods. And young gun Paulie Hartwig, I think he's like 15, 16 years old. He won the smart modified race down there. At Sobo, Peyton Sellers won the late model race. Nathan Cruz got the limited sportsman win. Over at Lonesome Pine Speedway, Brad Housewright got the win. Derek Lancaster won the second race. Up at Dominion, they did the American Racer Limited Late Model Division up there, and Dan Rogers got the win. And we're going to turn it over to Adam Wellbrook. He's going to give us his pit road roundup from here at Langley Speedway this past weekend.
Yeah, it was cold, man. It was in the high 40s this weekend.
I saw you were all bundled up.
We were freezing. But it was a good night. We had our other 6 divisions that weren't here opening night. Bandos got us kicked off. Landon Burbich won that race. He has started 4 races since the beginning of last year. He's won them all. It's pretty good.
You remember Thomas Burbage?
Yes, I did.
That's his son, and
His
he
son,
is good.
Yep.
He can
Hey,
win.
Clay.
Modifieds race 1, Brad Adams, last year's champ, got the win. Pro 6, Matt Dale, second in a row. No Travis Wall this year, we learned.
That's well, I kind of knew that was happening. I think.
He announced it at the banquet. Brian and I forgot, but
Yeah, I think he sold. I forget who he sold his stuff to, but
I'll tell you later.
Well, I don't. I think I know, but I just
It was confirmed to be this weekend. Legends, Tommy Jackson got a win. Good to have Tommy back in victory lane. It's been a while, at least since the beginning of last year. Limited race went to Jacob Derrick. And
that was a good race.
yeah.
Those two, Jacob and Aiden. Well, not Aiden, but
Yeah, it was Aiden.
was it Aiden Millett? Yeah.
Jacob was on pole. He was good till about halfway, and then Aiden just took off. And then the caution came out with about 10 or 12 to go, and Jacob's car was good on the short run, got him back. So yeah, it's going to be a good year for both those guys. And then the second modified race, Chris Roberts got his first career division win.
That is amazing. Blew a motor, and then
I guess they replaced the whole motor.
replaced the motor and had him ready for the second race.
Well, actually, he raced both races. He made the first race. So it was a quick turnaround, man. They got to work, and did some shakedown laps. Then he got the invert pole, I believe, or he was maybe second, and held off Brad and Rick Kadovic for the last 10 or 12 laps. It was great.
Well, that's a big deal when you have to replace a motor and still get a win. That's
Hold off 2 of the best that we have out here, man. It was exciting. And in the Grand Stocks, Paul Lubno got the win.
was that win number 4,275.
Something like that, yeah. 130, 140, somewhere in there.
He's got a bunch of wins.
Brand new race car. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. That was
Pretty
cool.
sharp, man.
Yeah.
Looked brand new.
Different type of color. What I'm used to with him. So.
Yeah. Got a new sponsor on that car. 410 had an electrical fire. Didn't get to start the race. Put it on pole. Never made it to the green flag. The car was sitting on pit road, and he turned a fan on. He said because it was overheating, and just the cockpit was full of smoke.
Oh man.
Had to climb out. So I hope he gets that issue sorted, man. Because those guys put on a show.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And I guess we ought to go on and say Chris Roberts is driver of the week this week. I mean, it's
Well deserved.
you can't go against somebody who has a motor problem and goes out and wins a race.
They should win crew of the week.
Got a little sad news to pass on. One of the Langley greats in the media here, Al Pierce, passed away this past week. I know you worked with Al a little bit, and I used to hang around with him a lot, and we teased each other. I mean, I'd go to Charlotte, and he'd come straight up there to where I was, and he said, "What the hell are you doing here?" I said, "What do you
guys do?"
He said, "You ain't doing no work, so what you here for?" I said, "We're here for the food."
At least you're honest.
But anyway, he was really fun to be around. He'd tell me, he said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Look, let me go buy you some lunch." He didn't tell me he was going to take me out in the hall and at the media center.
Where was
Get it? So
$3.99?
we're really going to miss Al. I'm going to miss Al because I used to have a lot of fun with him. One of the biggest things that he and I would argue.
You argue with everybody, man.
I mean, he and I would go at it, and we sat right here in this room one night, and he asked the question about Jeff Gordon. He said, "What's the deal with Jeff Gordon?" He said, "You think he's going to retire?" My son was working with Jeff Gordon, so I already knew the answer to that question, but I couldn't tell him what the answer was. After we got off the air, I said, "Jeff's going to retire." You don't know what you're talking about. He ain't gonna give it up all. He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do it. He's gonna act like he ain't gonna do it. Well, he retired. And I called him. I said, "Al, looks like Jeff Gordon retired."
He's told me that story before. Yeah.
So anyway, all right. And we now going to turn things around over here to DALFORD BRILEY from Dixieland Motor Speedway. He is the general manager at Dixieland Speedway. He is not the race director. That I messed up. Eddie Pollard is the race director. That's correct. So that's a pretty big deal. I screwed that up on. It's all right. So DALFORD, you've been around a lot of racetracks in the years that you've been there. Tell us some of the things, the places you've been, and whatever. I know you drove some, and
yeah, I drove it. I started off by hearing this track right here in Enduros back in 1992 in the enduro race. That's where I started off at, and then I figured enduros wasn't for me, so I went to Dixieland and I started running the lower class there back in '94. Mark Wirtz and all them same old guys were out here then. We were racing back then in Dixieland, and then I moved up to I went south. Southampton and ran for 1 year, and then they closed up, and then I was out there one night. Mark Wirtz said, "Why don't you run out here with us? I need some cars to for the NASCAR points." I started running out here, and that's when I started running out here. I ran out here for like 2 or 3 years in the sportsman class, and then I ran Dixieland, and that's where I mainly run most of my races were at Dixieland back from '94 up to about 2002.
So how did you get back as a general manager at Dixieland? I know you've been.
Well, I was working down there with Mr. Perry, Wayne Perry. He owned East Carolina Motor Speedway, so I was a race director down there for about 8 years. And when we closed right before COVID, and then when John and Susan Hinkerson, Dixieland was getting ready to shut down because H.C. Pritchard, they were leasing the track for 2 years and they were finished with it. They didn't want to do it anymore, so nobody was really taking it over. So John and Susan Hinkerson, they turned around and said, "You know what? We're going to keep it alive." They have a car out there, so they didn't want to really travel with their late model, so they decided they were going to lease it. And that's when somebody suggested me to be the general manager because they really didn't want to be too involved into about owning having a car out there. So that's where I came aboard. So
the first night, opening night, was a good night.
It was a good, successful night. Yes, it was. It was.
A good car turnout.
Good car turnout. Good race fans. Looks like I say, everybody's new out there to each other almost. I mean, we have a couple guys worked with somebody last year, but like we have Shane Snyder, he's new this year. I was new this year. Both our tech guys are new this year. So everybody has to re-jill again, for the year. But it worked out very well for the first night. Very tickled with it.
That's good. So what kind of big event have you got? I know you said one time.
Well, actually, Butterbean was coming down this past Friday night to race with us, and it rained out. So he's coming again. John State was going to get him to come again in the summertime, and then any nights he's not racing with ARCA race. So that puts some butts in the seats and every now and then.
Oh, yeah,
so,
it's going to be a big deal.
We're going to try to do that at least 4 or 5 times this year.
So what are some of the hardest things you've had to deal with since you've been at Dixieland to get, a lot of things have to be different from the owner to owner or whatever?
Yeah, it's different. Like I say, I've race directed and I've raced too. So I kind of worry about the fans as much as I do the drivers because you got to have both of them. takes part of it, and just having the bleachers nice so that, you know, people are comfortable sitting in the seats, and the drivers are all happy. You got to try to make as many drivers as you can happy. You're not going to make all of them happy, and you just got to do the best you can, and, you know, and be tough skin.
They've got to be real tough skin for that place down there. I mean,
So
it's a fun place to race. I've raced there, and I think it's
yeah,
a fun place to race. But it was good to see Billy Hubbard get a win the other last week when he was down there.
yeah, and that's our main goal, is to try to keep it a hometown track. I mean, a lot of racetracks, they'll bring out the big touring groups and they'll pay a lot of money. So they bring a lot of people down here, and they'll pay $5,000, which is nothing wrong with it. But those guys leave with the $5,000. We'd rather have some of the hometown people come down to, you know, to race. That's mainly where your fans are from, you know, Elizabeth City and Camden and Chesapeake and Virginia Beach. So that's mainly what we're trying to do, is bring back that's when Red Swain had it. That's what they did. They mainly kept it a home track. So, you know, you had your home fans. That's what you did on a Friday night. My family, I have 2 girls. But they grew up there when I raced there. So it's just part of a Friday night ordeal down there.
It seems like it's different. It's probably not that different from Langley, because a lot of people come here family wise and everything here in Langley. When we were at Southampton, and it was the local guys.
Yeah.
Everybody had to see what was going to happen with the local guys.
Yeah.
Who's going to fight who, or who's going to do what.
It was the Edwards one, Spec Edwards and all.
Spec Edwards and Tony Edwards.
That's right. That's right.
They got into it a lot, and you know, I had my run-ins a couple times too. So
we don't really have any feuds yet, but you got to have that at every track. You know, you got to have a little bit of, I'm going to get you next week. So it brings the crowd. It always has, you know.
That's right.
So that's what we're trying to get back to, the home track feeling of the track. You know, that's the main thing we want to do.
That's really cool to see. You know, I saw where then what is it called? Super stocks or something down, super whatever.
Yeah, the street stock.
Street stock, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, you know, a lot of people from the area running those places and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
That is, that's our biggest class. We had 13 or 14 cars of that, and it's affordable class. You know, it's like everything else. It's kind of like y'all's grand stock. I guess y'all still call it grand stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's just affordable. It's a good car, but it runs good. I mean, everybody comes to watch it. Because, you know, a lot of fans, they don't care if you got a 4-barrel on it, you got a 2-barrel. As long as everybody's side by side racing it, that's what it's all about. You know,
it seems like Dixieland always has good racing. You know, once it gets going good and everything, everybody's in it having a good time, and it's a good racetrack.
It has a good fan base.
Yeah,
it does, and it's kind of like Langley Speedway. You got you know, it's not nearly as big as this, but you got your people that come every Saturday night here. They come every Friday. That's what they live for. They come out on Friday nights to watch the racing go on.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what are some of the improvements that have taken place down there at Dixieland from last time to now, from the last owner to now?
We did a lot of the bleachers, and all that stuff is kind of, we repaired a lot of things that kind of got, for the last couple of years, it kind of got old, and, you know, and kind of things. And we didn't have a school board for like 2 years. You know, people like going to a racetrack, seeing who's in the lead and who was the school board. So John State, he volunteered his time to come out there, and he fixed the school board. So we have the school board going every week now.
That's good.
Which is a big improvement. The sky boxes, and they cleaned them up and did some very nice cleanups. They've got nice seats in the sky box, and just overall, it's just cleaner looking than it has been. So that's the main thing.
And the surface and everything on the track looks really good. Like when I was down there the other day, it looks good.
And that's something that we want to do this year, is we have packer cars. So when they prep the track, you know, most tracks you go there, it's been that way. Most of the racers have to go out and pack the track in.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get it so that when the racers come in there, 90% of the time the track is completely ready to race on. That they ain't got to go out there and fill their cars up with mud. Yeah. So that was a big complaint that a lot of people have with dirt track. We got to come out and pack the race, to pack the dirt down, and we'd rather just go ahead and race. So that we got like 4 or 5 packer cars that run around there on Friday night to pack the dirt down. So when it's time to qualifying and hot laps, everything is pretty much ready to go.
So how much are you involved with the water and the track and everything as far as?
I'm not. Red Swain, which has been doing the track for 40 some years, knows about that, and he's in John's son, Sean, he's pretty much in charge of putting the water down. So, but usually once you put water down, you get all the water down. They start like on a Wednesday and dump. I mean, you're talking like 45,000 gallons of water on the track a week. It's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
And it just goes over time. And then Friday nights usually we don't have to put any more water down. We might get a little bit of dust, but that's the main thing. You want to keep the dust down so it don't, the fans don't get dusted out or whatever. So it's actually worked out good for us. I'm sure we're gonna have some dusty nights when things get dry and stuff like that. But that's our main thing is to keep all the dust down and have a good track to race on.
I think it's cool that you want to have it done so the drivers don't have to get out there and put their stuff through that and go through it.
That's always been a big complaint with all dirt tracks. When you go there, we don't want to have to roll a track, and the track's already, most tracks, it's like Saluda, they were doing there when you got there, everything was already rolled in, you're ready to go. Yeah. And that's what we want to do.
Well, that's what we had to do at Southampton. I mean, if you're going to race that night, you had to go be a part of the roll-in.
That's right.
So everybody had to go out there and roll it in.
Yeah, and then you had to pull off 20, 30 pounds of mud off your car.
Yeah, I mean, especially, buddy, when you got home and had to clean the car up, I had to put it up on jack stands and climb underneath that thing.
I did too. So, but this has actually worked out very well by getting the pack of cars out there. We have tons of volunteers that come out there and do whatever they want to do. And you have 4 or 5 of them that just go out there on Friday night and roll the traffic for us.
Well, that's cool.
So we got a good crew down there.
Even with Shane Snyder.
Even James Snyder. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. And how do you look at the new ownership there? I mean, it looks like they're really putting a major effort into it.
They're first class. They want to make sure everything is done to suit everybody. They're very pleasing people. They want to make sure that everything's done to make everybody happy. You're not going to do that, but that's their plan.
Yeah, it seems like they were very interested in getting all that stuff. And the day I was there with you guys and we went up and y'all had that meeting. I mean, it looks like you got a lot of people that are dedicated to wanting to do the job like it's supposed to be done.
People loved. I mean, dirt people are special. I mean, that you got to remember when you leave there, you're dirty.
Oh yeah.
Asphalt track, you're pretty clean, and you ain't got to take a shower when you get home. When you leave there on Friday night, you got to take a shower for each other's bed. You've been there.
Yeah, I've been there many times.
So
been there many times.
I've enjoyed it. Like I said, it's close to my house. So I'm only like 15 minutes away. So it's when I leave there at 12, 1 o'clock at night when it's over with, we go home and ain't far to go.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's the thing I miss about Southampton. I live like 8 miles from Southampton Speedway.
Yeah.
And it was nothing to load up a car and go to Southampton race, be back home. Everything was done. You'd be home. Especially if you left there early enough to, when your race is over, a lot of guys left. But you leave and you make it home at a reasonable time. And now I have to drive all the way down here, which I love. I love being here at Langley Speedway, but I got to drive down here. That's a long ride. I was going to Dixieland a couple of times last year, and every time I got almost to the crossroads down there, the bottom fell out and the race was over with. And that was one of the things that you mentioned in that meeting that day about rainouts, how y'all going to work the rainouts and everything. So kind of explain that.
What we try to do is most of our guys come from, like Eddie Powell, he's 5 hours away. So we try to call it no later than 12 o'clock that day. We don't want to call it premature like the day before, because then everybody says, well, you call it way too early. Mm-hmm. But we want to make sure that nobody tows 5 hours. I've been there several times, even this racetrack. I've been here, sitting here parking lot. It's pouring down raining, and and I call the racetrack. They say, "Oh, it's nice and pretty here." No, I'm not in the parking lot. But that has happened.
No, I've been there.
It ain't raining here. Yeah, it is. But anyway, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that nobody goes out of their way. If they go that far, because there's 2 racetracks that have closed up, which is Halifax County and also Saluda.
Yeah.
So when we have some of those guys that have come down here, and so we don't make sure they don't drive for 3 hours away from that way, and then we get here and it's get rained out. So kind of make it accommodate so everybody's happy and ain't wasting money.
And also, I know with that day I was there, you mentioned the fact about the curfew and everything that comes in and how you're going to run the program to make sure you get all that done. So
our deal is to start at 8 o'clock and be done no later than 11 o'clock. We have they say 11 o'clock therapy, but it's really 11:30. So we try to make it 11 o'clock so that, and this week we were done like 4 to 11. So that's our main goal, is to make sure we start at 8 o'clock and we can get the show and be done by 11 o'clock. And I don't see no reason why we can't.
when you practice your different divisions, how much time do you give them in practice to get ready?
Not long. We try to keep things going as fast as we can, because the more we can get practice, the better off we are. A lot of we do a little bit different now. We do hot laps, which means you might get 5 laps, and then that's your qualifying laps on the dirt. So it kind of, you don't do one car at a time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and we have a light night, which I say light night. We don't have we have 5 classes that we run. If one class is weak, then we want to get started at 8 o'clock no matter what. That's our main ticket, is to get started at 8 o'clock.
I think it's cool that I went to Halifax a couple of years ago, and I mean he was the guy that was a race director, Mike Wells. You know Mike.
He ran with us this past week.
Yeah, I saw he was down that way. So he came out and said, "Look, we're gonna do this," and they come out and he give them 3 laps, and at the end of 3 laps you come off the track, and if you're not there waiting to go on the track,
you don't qualify.
You're done. So don't even do it. And I think that's cool. It is, yeah. Very,
And it won't take long. People want to drag behind, but I mean, you make a rule out and you enforce it, and they'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody will figure out the program. So
that's pretty cool.
It's really worked out good. I mean, I've enjoyed it like I said, we've done it for one night, and once you get the first night under your belt, then the rest of the night should be, we got a good system going. So
that's good. I mean, it's from the day when I went down there the last couple of weeks ago, it looked like it was a turning there that looked a lot better than it used to. So
and we got new souvenir stands. I mean, that's the first thing you see when you walk up there is a brand new souvenir stand. So
that's pretty good. I understand you got some decent food there too. So
yeah, hamburgers, hot dogs, and barbecue.
Yeah, well, that's normal. So that's a pretty good deal.
I mean, it ain't Carolina barbecue, but it's barbecue.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm glad you came up today and did this with us. I
appreciate you inviting
me. I really want to get to Dixieland. I'm gonna make a special effort, but as long as my grandkids will go along with me, so I'll get there. But yeah, you got a good thing going on down there. So
I appreciate that.
Y'all keep us informed of what's going on. I try to keep up with everything and talk with Brian as much as I can.
Yeah, so Brian goes down there. He's good at his game.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. And that dude right over there is pretty good too. So no, there's nobody over there beside of you. Okay. But he's pretty good too.
Yeah.
So, but Brian's in a league to himself.
Yeah.
See the book right there. You can see the book.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's just Langley.
That's Langley. That's not the Dixieland book. That's Langley, and that's all the information on everybody here.
He's probably got 2 more in his bag.
Really? And he knows about that. I mean, he's good at
it. And he spends time getting to know the guys. He'll walk through and talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, he may not talk to Mikey the first night he's here, but he's going to, somewhere along the line, he's going to make an effort to talk to him. So, so we really enjoy it.
I'm glad to have him.
Well, DALFORD, we appreciate everything you do. And so hopefully I'll see you soon down at Dixieland. And
I'll try to get up here. I ain't been in Langley in a long time, so I'm trying to get back in.
Yeah, you need to come up here and watch some asphalt racing.
I love asphalt racing. I mean, that's
all right. I'm gonna ask you the tricky question that I've asked before. Which do you like better?
I like asphalt.
Okay, well then I didn't have to finish the question.
I mean, I like the Dixieland. Don't get me wrong, it's close to home, but I mean, it's nice to leave pretty clean.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. And my wife, she used to come with me every single, when I started racing, she never missed a race. My kids, and that was one thing that when, we went from dirt to asphalt, it's like, I bought a nice enclosed 28-foot trailer, started towing it down to Southampton. We were leaving on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock to get down there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were leaving at, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, getting back home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Same thing here. I raced out here, and she went with me every week. And then, and she says, I like this trailer thing. I put air conditioning in it. It's like, this is different than open trailers like thing, And then like I say, we have my granddaughter daughter was born, and then she wanted to stay home and watch her, which I'm glad she did. We had a lot of joy with my Grace at home, and then and we that's pretty much when I quit. When Susie quit going, it's like, you know, I always kept it as a family thing as far as,
Yeah.
you know.
And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. That's what I try to do too, because my kids today, I mean, even the ones in Charlotte, been working with NASCAR teams in Charlotte, whatever. My daughter is funny. She comes around and oh, I smell that racing gas. I love that smell. And you know, they have those memories, and I tried to make it a family thing. So, and then of course I get teased a lot about kids' night down in Southampton when they had the kids' nights down there. And they bring the kids out and put them in the cars, and everybody, well, one night I decided I'm gonna quit the race early so I can be the first one back for kids' night.
Right.
And I've been told I'm a starting park guy from that point on. So
yeah, I love those when the kids are riding the cars. They use 15 kids on top of your car and ride around the track.
And Mike Sharon, I don't know if you know Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Sharon had that big truck, and he put all the kids on the truck
and
drove them around. That was cool.
It's a big deal. I enjoyed that's like I said, that's when my driving career kind of died, when my, you know, when you go by yourself, it ain't no fun, I don't think. You know,
exactly right.
Kind of have the people with it. But anyway.
All right. Well, Dalford, we appreciate you being here. I know you made a special effort to come all the way out here, and
Appreciate you inviting me.
And we'll have you back on again sometime this year. We'll see how things are going. And
I'll be here.
All right. Well, we appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Now we're gonna get winner from week 1 on here in a minute.
I'll see y'all later.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good meeting you too.
All right, Mike. Come on in here.
Nice meeting you.
You do that. Take care. All right. Yes, sir. You will.
All right. Joining us now is week 1 winner of the UCARs.
Yeah, fortunately.
Mikey Chinn. Mikey Chinn. So, I mean, that's your first ever win, right? In
Yes.
the UCARs.
Yes.
That's a pretty big deal for you.
Yeah, it was a real big deal. You know, went all year last year. I had a good year, but never could seal the deal on a win.
Yeah, you did have a good. But did you get the pole that night?
I did.
All right, I was up here, and you got the pole, but somehow or other, the computer was screwed up or something. It showed you in another spot, and I ain't gonna say who was up here, but he was not happy that you got the pole.
Right.
And I said, well, I mean, that's, you know, the computer may have messed up, but
The last time showed it.
yeah. So
He may or may not have been affiliated with the guy that Mikey knocked off.
yeah. So
But
As long as they got the lap time right, that's all that
yeah,
matters.
well, and you got it, and you got the win, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your team and everything you got going on there.
Well, you know, I'm with Charlie Bryant, you know, the whole Bryant Motorsports Parts Barn crew. So I help out with, you know, we got Cody racing in the late model. We got a bunch of enduros, and I'll go with Phil and Haley, and I'm going to run some of those still too when I have time. But we stay really busy out here.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I looked down there that night, and it was like you had 3 a UCAR.
you got a whole section now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a whole bunch of cars sitting down there.
Yeah, fortunately, they let us park. If they have room down there, they let us all park together so we can kind of be, you know,
Well,
together.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's really nice when they're able to let us do that.
So who all was on the crew with you, helping you besides Charlie?
Obviously Charlie, Roger Sawyer's been helping me a lot with the car. You know, there's a lot of rule changes. So he helped me do a lot of changes to the car, you know, as far as the nose and stuff, you know. Colby helps me a lot, you know, he spots for me. Phil Nelson, Austin, Ryan Vinson. Anytime I need anything mechanical, he comes over and helps me out a ton. Justin Bond, I don't know if y'all know Justin from Dixieland. You know, he comes up and helps me a lot. I know I'm forgetting people. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people, but yeah, I have a lot of help, a lot of support.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, the whole group pulls together and gets the job done. So,
Oh, absolutely.
so it's
Absolutely.
really cool. And then you get your first win. So, you know, Charlie has done so much for this racetrack with the parts barn and stuff that he was involved with. I mean, sponsoring divisions and stuff that he did earlier on, you know.
Mhm.
But now he's got Cody racing now, so he's got to be more on point with the late model team.
Right, right. A little more stressful.
Yeah, so I mean, that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
So give us a background of where you got started, how you got started at this. I mean, was it something you grew up with, or?
I grew up, I always loved racing. So my dad would take me to Dixieland when I was a kid.
Mhm.
So I come home covered in dirt. All you could see was my teeth. We'd sit and churn forward, watch racing. And so I've always loved racing. And then I never knew how easy it really was to get into.
Well, it's easy to get into.
I thought I thought
Not
it
easy
was,
to get out of.
No, you can't get-
I always thought it was a little more difficult to get into. And me and Charlie were on vacation in Disney World
Of all places.
of all places.
Magic happens there.
Yeah, we're watching Brendan, which is Charlie, Charlie's nephew, on his phone, and he's like, what, we need to get us a couple jumpers together. We'll go out there and we'll run some enduros, just have fun. That's all we're going to do.
Well, that really,
They said, we're not going to spend any money. We're just going to go run some enduros, have some fun with it. And one thing led to another. One race, the next thing you know, we're looking for faster cars.
so you work with Charlie too, right?
Yes, been working with Charlie's known me since I was probably 2.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's cool.
him and my brother grew up together as teenagers, so they've been really close for forever.
Well, that's cool that that Charlie, you working for Charlie, and you get to experience it, and I'm sure he's into the racing thing too. So he's
Charlie does a lot for me as far as racing goes. He's the reason I'm driving. He lets me drive that car. He's instrumental, obviously.
Do you have any interest later on to maybe move up to something else, or are you enjoying what you're doing?
I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Charlie, I was enjoying the enduros, and Charlie gave me the opportunity to drive the UCAR, and it's basically the same thing. There's
Well,
a lot more grip, it's more of a race day experience, but I don't have any desire. I mean, if he gives me an opportunity, I would probably try it, but I'm having a ball doing what I'm doing now.
well, I mean, that's what you got to be able to enjoy what you're doing and everything. Now, you got a family,
Yes.
so
Wife, 2 girls, and I got a grandson, recently a granddaddy.
oh Lord,
Speaking from experience over there.
yeah, buddy. I mean, you think it was expensive then, you wait till now.
Right.
But no, I mean, that's cool. If you got your family, they're involved, they come out here too, or
My wife comes out most of the time, about 50% of the time. She can't handle the late nights most of the time, but actually, opening night was the first night she was here for me to win a race. So that was great.
oh, that was great that you
Yeah,
were here for
I had
that.
my daughter and my grandson, here for that. So I set the standards a little high for the grandson. But
So when you were out there, them last few laps, how was that when you were thinking, I might have a shot here?
I'm just trying to listen to Colby, and that car is so loud. It's hard. I'm only making out about half what he's saying, so I don't know how much of a lead I have really. I don't know if you noticed. I think I ran another lap just making sure. I was so focused.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to make sure that I finish this race. But I'm just trying to stay focused, hit my marks, breathe. Don't mess it up.
The old saying that you're right, in them last few laps, you hear stuff in the car. Did you hear any of that stuff?
No, I didn't.
A lot,
I didn't hear anything.
a lot of people say that the last few laps, that you're out front, you're leading the race,
Especially for
and
your first win.
you're hearing,
Yeah.
you start hearing all the stuff in the car.
Or
little
something
creaks.
feels funny.
Yeah, you think, oh God, it's going to come unglued here in a minute, but
Yeah.
it's cool to see, that you got through it all.
Yeah, it was cool. I think the last thing I really remember Colby saying was 3 to go.
That's probably the last thing I remember too. So.
3 to go. I think he told me all I heard was straightaway. So I was like, I'm either pretty clear by half a straightaway or straightaway.
Yeah.
So I just, I didn't change anything up. I said, I'm just gonna keep going.
Do what you got to do. That's right. That's right. So now, who else helping sponsor you this year besides Charlie?
Charlie, obviously, with the car lot and the junkyard, but the embroidery and print house, they've been helping me since my first year out here. So they always help me out. They're great people. Pam and Marshall, they're over there in Suffolk on Bennett's Pasture Road. Melinda Baldwin with Knack and Realty, she's great. If you need help with any real estate needs, she's great. And that's pretty much it. And Ryan Matthews hooks me up, with my vinyl and stuff. you know, at a good deal. So he's always helped me out, make the car look sharp, you know.
So this is Charlie's car
Yes,
that you're driving.
yes.
So do you have, does he keep the car, or do you have it to work on or whatever? I mean, what?
Oh, we're spoiled. We have a really nice race shop where we keep all of them. The late model, the UCAR, the Enduros. We're spoiled.
Oh,
He
okay.
keeps us spoiled.
Imagine he's got the whole empire out there with the lot and everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's the race shop is completely separate. It's like our own. We leave work and we drive over to the race shop, hang out, work on race cars.
Cool. I mean, if he's got it working out like that, that's a big deal for you
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely nice.
So what are your plans for the rest of you? Just running the UCAR? I mean, UCAR? Or are you going to run some other places? I mean, I know they've got some big UCAR events and other tracks.
Now, we're going to focus right here at Langley and on nights where, you know, I try to help out with Cody as much as I can. I spot for him sometimes, but like opening night, we were back to back, so I
Yeah.
couldn't do that. So any night that we're not running late model and UCAR and they're running Enduros, I'm gonna try to run Enduros those nights. But other than that, I just focus on the UCAR.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's a good thing. So big plans here. Get another win this week.
I hope so. But you know, I just want to be competitive. If I can be competitive and fight have a chance to win, I'll be tickled.
But you got that first win under your belt, so you know hey,
It's possible.
It's possible. I can do this. You know.
Yeah, there's some fast guys out there. You know, Thomas and Jason and Jesse's car. They're fast guys. Thomas had some issues, so I didn't really have to deal with Thomas at all. You know, open tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Be back.
He'll be back. He'll be fast. Brent, you know, Brent Burgess, he's fast. There's a lot of fast cars out there, so
That's pretty good. So I hope everything works out where you get another win real soon. So
it would be nice. It would be nice.
let's look at it. You said you got a grandson.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a few years down the road, he's ready to go racing and go karts and stuff. Are you ready to finance that?
Oh, absolutely. I hope he's out here. You know, that would be.
charm, man.
Yeah, it's actually absolutely. If he was out here, that would be great. I would definitely focus on him.
That's cool. Yeah, when my daughter went to college, I sold all my stuff, and my son looked at me and he said, "Now I'm able to drive. You sell the stuff. So what's the deal with it?"
Did you say you're doing him a favor?
Well, I did, but he probably wouldn't think so right now.
Right.
But anyway, well, do you sit around and watch the race, you know, like on TV and stuff to keep up with everything, or are you just Langley?
I watch a lot of racing. I try to keep up with everything, you know, Brendan's doing, the Cars Tour. I like watching the Cars Tour stuff. And if I'm not here, I'm watching Langley, you know, at home, whatever.
Yeah.
I try to keep up with all of it.
Well, that's cool. And well, I hope everything works out. We get that next win. That'd be really cool to get. So.
Yeah, it would be nice.
But I'm gonna have to come down and check out Charlie's shop one time. I gotta come down and see it.
You should. You'll be in all of it. It's a really nice place.
You know, there's been some people talking about me and Scott racing against each other, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna race against Scott. That's not gonna happen. But I would like to do it, but I just don't
If
want
anybody
to.
can do it, it's probably Charlie to make that happen.
We ain't gonna talk to Charlie about it because if he pushes me and then pushes Scott, that's not good.
We'll get you out there in some Enduros or something, you know.
I hope he gives me one and it's gonna get tore up pretty good because Scott will wreck me. He ain't no doubt about it.
He's got a history of that.
He's gonna make sure that happens.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Mikey, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Thanks
I
a
appreciate
lot.
you guys having
Yeah.
me. Appreciate
This
it.
weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Come back again. We'll get you back on here again.
Oh, awesome, man.
So maybe,
I appreciate it.
or you want to leave, or you gonna stay here with us for a little while?
Well, I'm probably gonna go on home and
Okay.
I go to bed pretty early, so.
Oh, okay.
Race car.
Here we go. Crystal West. Hey, Crystal West. Crystal West said she's in the UCAR. You know.
Yeah,
She said she gonna beat your ass next
I
time.
know she's coming for me.
Yeah. And she-
Crystal's car has to make it to the finish first. We're struggling with that right now.
Well, Sparky got in her car and was faster than her.
That's what I heard.
So that's.
Well, that was the topic of conversation all
Oh,
week.
it was a topic of conversation up here.
I'm sure.
Anyway.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right. Next on our agenda, hold on a minute. Let's do one of these. Okay, let's do this one right here.
Hello, I'm Brian Morehouse, Director of Marketing for S&N Communications Incorporated. I'd like to welcome you to this week's show of Jack Dodson'S Inside Racing News with Scott Allen and Adam Wilbrock.
Big deal. The big late model driving champ of our winner from the first week. Let's get him on here. Hey, Woody, how's it going, man?
Hey, Jack, how's it going? How's it going,
We're
Adam?
doing pretty good here. See you out there. You must be working on car tonight.
Yeah, we're working on a little bit, trying to get ready for this weekend.
I don't know if you know this or not, but you were voted our driver of the week for the first week.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I'm going to get with you as soon as Tim gets me you're going to get a hat and a certificate being driver of the week. So I'll let you know that now.
Awesome. Thank you.
So anyway, so how was it good? How did it feel to get back at Victory Lane again?
Oh, yeah, it feels really good. We weren't really expecting it after the first race. We were a little bit off. We started out just kind of late getting started. I feel like we only got one test in before the first race, so the first race didn't go as planned. So we used that kind of as a test. We came down pit road, made a few adjustments, and then then we made some wholesale adjustments for the second race. And man, it felt really. The car ran really well. Felt really good. It's kind of surprised, I guess, but I definitely have some. I'm pretty excited about this year. I have some, I guess, high hopes, because we really did do a lot of work over the winter. So really looking forward to it.
It looks like you've changed a lot. The car colors have changed and everything. Looks like you got a whole, you're doing a whole new thing with the car this year.
Yeah. The team, they wanted a different look. We stripped the car all the way down over the off season. We, and like I said, just kind of try to we went back to the drawing board. Really wanted to step it up and have a good showing this year.
I know you were one of the hot shoes in the Hooters Pro Cup Series, and I'll tell you what. I mean, it was great to see you win the other night. I mean, I thought that was a big deal for me to see you win a race. That was pretty cool.
One of the old guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
It's been a while.
Like I said, I mean, we're going to race this year. We're coming to race. We're not. We've been having fun. It's all about having fun. But this year we really did put in a lot more effort. I really got to thank our partners that really helped us out. They Bobby Chavis especially, he over the winter, he basically said, get what you need. So we stripped the car all the way down, went down to Hedgecock, and we got what we needed. We updated the car a lot, actually really a little more than I thought we were going to. I didn't think we were that outdated, but the car's about 5 years old now. We didn't quite have the funds for a new chassis, but this car is going to be fine. It's Cameron Hedgecock and Jay Hedgecock, they really helped us out a lot. And they kind of told us, hey, there's a few things that we could do still, or the new chassis has that we don't have. But they got us dialed in. They really did. We went off of what they were recommending, and then obviously did a few things different. The first race the setup was a lot different than anything I've ever run. And then obviously it wasn't quite right, but it didn't take much. Now I knew when the second race started, I knew the car was really good. And I hated that I got together with Chase. I don't know. It looked like he had a lot of short run speed, and he was kind of falling off. And I knew it was kind of one of them racing deals. I knew Greg was going to be coming, and if next thing you know, you're battling trying to get back by somebody. So I get kind of one of them deals. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the season. I know it's going to be tough with a lot of the competition that's out there, but I think we're going to be a lot better prepared this year and have a lot more for them.
Woody, when you look around at other racetracks and other late model tracks, I mean, that run late models, do you think, in your mind, Langley Speedway has the best competition compared to everybody else?
I mean, I think it's definitely between us and South Boston, probably. I mean, you got yeah, I mean the guys at Langley. It's just in Langley in particular. It's just a tough racetrack. It's definitely. I mean, I like going there. You know, it's my home track. It's where I started, but it's not my favorite racetrack. I'll be honest. It's about as tough as any place you go. Um, and then you got guys that have been there forever. You know what I mean? Like Greg and Danny, and these guys can win in any week. You know, Mark, and I mean all these guys have been around since before I even started racing. So it's kind of hard as a new guy really to come in and actually, show them up. I mean, you're really asking a lot to pull off any number of wins as a new driver, probably within your first couple 2-3 years even. Um, but other tracks are still. I mean, South Boston's just as tough, I would say. But yeah, right now, I don't know. I guess it looks like there's between us and South Boston.
Yeah, I think so too. They got a good crowd down there in South Boston. Now, Willie, are you going to plan on running any other places this year, or are you just going to stay right here at Langley?
Yeah, our plan is just to run Langley. That's kind of I mean, with the rules package that they have there, we're committed to Langley. That the engine combination that you have to run at Langley, you're not going to be competitive anywhere else. So it's kind of unfortunate. We were hoping they would do some stuff different a couple years ago, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll focus on Langley. I mean, I'm not saying we're totally against going anywhere else, but that's not on the radar yet. I mean, we're just trying to get Langley kind of dialed in first, and see how that goes.
Yeah, you got a head start on getting that win the first week, so that's a pretty good deal for you. I mean, to be able to do that. So, tell us a little bit about who else helping you out partner wise.
So, like I said, Robert Hopper still owns the car. Like I said, I always keep saying it's a true team effort because it really is. There's about there's between Robert owning the chassis, and then we've got a couple really good, like I said, Bobby Chavis with RC Paving and Sons. We have Kyle from Eastover Service Repair. We have Monica with Farm Bureau Insurance, and then we have a few other sponsors that were to help us out. Mako helps us out with some painting, and we got what's the other one we got on here? Wes takes care of all that for me. Of course, Wes he's with Ships Repair and Service, Repair and Towing, and then the Howdy store out in Ivor. They sell. Let me get them plugged there real quick. The Howdy store. I don't know if you see that.
Oh yeah, I know where that's at.
You know where that's at? Yeah. So yeah, like I said, really, I mean, and the coolest thing too is a lot of our partners. They all come to the racetrack. They're all, they're all really good people. Like I said, we have a good time. They enjoy being out there with us. And then as far as I got to thank the guys on the team. Like I said, a lot of good guys on my team this year, and I'm really pumped up. Obviously, Wes Whitmore, he's kind of the guy. I call him the pit boss, man. He takes care of he's like the team manager. He takes care of handling all the ordering parts and just making sure we get what we need. And then you got Mike Townsley and Jeremy Jordan, and Jeremy's obviously spots for me, and Mike's that's Jeremy's dad. So it's cool to have them on the team together, and I told him before the season started, I really wanted to get them a win, get a picture in Victory Lane together. They've never done that before. So that was cool to get that taken care of. And then old Charlie Barkley, my old buddy Charlie, came on board this year. So Charlie and Chase, his son Chase, and his wife Kristen are coming out with us. And then obviously, Charlie obviously he moved to New York a few years ago, and I guess he was up there for a couple of years. And then now, obviously, they've been back now a year or two. But
now his son was running some go-karts at one point or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and because we had him on the show. Him and Kristen came here. They were living in New York, but they were home, and they came on the show. I talked to them at Richmond, and then they came here and come on the show. So, well, that's cool. You got Charlie out there with you. I'll have to come down there and holler at him next week or this weekend to see how he's doing.
Oh yeah, he's doing well. Like I said, his son is. I guess his son's just old enough to get in the pits now. So we're trying to train him up a little bit. He's going to be doing some tires for us.
He's your gopher.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But no,
cool.
Charlie, yeah, we're looking forward. We also, I can't forget Kristen. So, and Kristen's on the team also. So
Yeah.
Wes and Kristen, they're over here tonight helping get stuff sorted out. We're gonna try to get a practice in before Saturday. So we're trying to tidy up, finish up a few things.
Woody, look back at your Hooters Cup days. I mean, I had a trivia question on here a few weeks ago. Well, it's been a while, longer than that, and you were the subject of the trivia. And who got the first pole at Rockingham when they reopened the Rockingham Speedway? And we all know who that was.
That was
We all know who that was. Huh?
Yeah, that was us. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a fun weekend until the race. we had an issue. My guys say there was a tire gauge issue. I don't know what happened, but they I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if they weren't just trying to do something with tire pressure. But we started the race. Yeah, qualified on the pole, led the first part of the race. But in the Pro Cup series, you have to pit. At least a couple times. You got to do once for fuel, once for tires, and so it's a big game. Who could pit? You want everybody short pit, so you to get it out of the way. And so we pitted. I remember we pitted, and then half the field pits, half the field stays out, and so that put us about mid pack. And then we car was terrible after the first pit stop, and come to find out our air pressure was way too low, and I guess my guys luckily figured it out, let me know, and I was kind of holding on, trying to wait for the next pit stop, and we got taken out before that could happen. Just kind of riding along. So it happens, but it was fun up until that point.
Wasn't it James Busher that took you out in that race?
No, I can tell you. No, it was Carl Long.
Carl Long.
Yeah, I swear. It was. I mean, he's notorious for big wrecks. So I can see why. He just ran straight in the back of us. I guess the speed he couldn't keep up or something. I don't know. But I was running in traffic. It was a pretty hard hit. We just destroyed the car. Totally totaled the car.
I was in your pit trying to keep everybody from fighting.
Yeah, that's right. You remember? Yeah, you might have been. Yeah, you were there. You probably saw the.
Yeah.
You probably heard about the pressure issue there.
Yeah, I did hear about it, but I was down there, and I think Dave Talman and then Lee and all of them got into an argument with the team right beside y'all, and I think that was Busher. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, he might have been there beside us. Yeah, but I know Carl Long was the one that took us out.
But I think they got to arguing. I had to go grab both of them and pull them back because they were going after them. I said, "No, we're not going to do that right now.
Yeah,
we'll wait and do that later." I love those days back in the Pro Cup days.
It was fun. Yeah, that was my last race. That was kind of the end of our deal with Jim Dean. We had a good run, had a lot of fun, but that was the end of 2008. So I kind of, after that race, I knew the deal was already kind of over after that race, and it would have been cool to go out with a win because I mean we really were fast. It was a lot of fun. We almost were wide open around that place on new tires. You just kind of let off for a second and you're right back on it. So as fast as I've ever been.
And Jim wasn't even at the racetrack that day. So
yeah, he'd come every now and then. He'd come. You never could tell with him.
Well, anyway, Woody, I appreciate you coming on, taking time. Congrats. Well, I don't know if it's congratulations or not. I don't know how you feel about it, but you're our driver of the week.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
And we're going as soon as Tim gets me the stuff, I'm gonna get it straight to you. And I hope we get a couple more of them this year.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you more and we'll come on the show more.
All right, I'd love to have you on, man. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
Sounds good, Jack. I'll hope to see you out there Saturday.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right, man. Thanks.
Well,
we may see him. We may talk to him again this weekend. Who knows?
I mean, I would love to see him win again. I mean, I was hanging around that team when my son was in the Pro Cup series with them. He had left Miller and went over to started helping Woody and those guys, and that was fun. I mean, it's like old time racing, and I loved going out there. And I probably was a nuisance to a lot of people at the racetrack, but I enjoyed being there, and and it was really cool to do it. So, a lot of fun. Well, I enjoyed the show tonight. We had DALFORD BRILEY from DIXELAND. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Glad to have him on. Mikey CHINN, the first UCAR winner of the year.
Yeah.
And then Woody Howard, who got the late model, the second late model win, or second race late model win.
Yeah.
Connor Hall got the other one. Imagine that.
I've heard of him.
Well, me too.
He won Cordeal too.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's
stock car
I think
driver.
he's going to be all right somewhere down there. But there was a little controversy down at Cordeal, and
he may be here this weekend.
possible,
It's possible. So
very possible. But I don't know what them guys down there in Cordeal were doing. They charged them $125 or something for practice.
an hour.
An hour for practice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey man, racing's expensive.
it's like Dale Earnhardt said, or Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, we got to do some talking before we do this again.
Well, he also said that we don't need to do much testing. So maybe we just don't test. I don't know.
I ain't sure about all that.
Maybe just practice.
Well, that's true. But
It was a decent race.
oh yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good race.
Yeah.
And,
Connor was quick. And our buddy Doug Barnes parked it in a cornfield. Or
yeah,
watermelon.
I was dying laughing when he was sitting there, and I know he was. I mean, you couldn't tell from the way the camera was, but it looked like he was giving it everything he had trying to get out of there.
He must, yeah. I can't imagine what he was feeling in that moment.
But that's another track like Florence. You go off that back side over there, it ain't no time where you gonna end up.
Yeah.
So
Old school.
old school, big time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our show for tonight. We appreciate everybody being with us tonight. Next week, I've got some things lined up, but nothing affirmative right now. But
Scott will be back.
Scott may be back next
If
week.
he makes it out of Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
He
I've
might
seen
not-
a lot of pictures.
He
from
might
out
not
there.
make it out of Vegas. We don't know.
But I've been-
Tune in next week to find out.
Have you seen any of his pictures?
Not yet.
You need to check his
I might have to
pictures.
do that.
Because he thinks he's a star or something. You know, with all the stuff.
It ain't Langley, man.
So that's pretty wild. So
Come on out, everybody come out this Saturday, man. It's gonna be a good time. Weather's gonna be a lot nicer. Racing's gonna be good. Late models are back. It's gonna be a great time. 5 o'clock.
Ricky Roberts says it's kind of quiet in there with Jack, Jack without Jaws being in there with you.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna have to start calling him Jaws.
Jaws.
Yeah.
Add it to the list of nicknames
And,
for Scott.
We'll have to get Crystal West in here pretty soon because she's going after him pretty hard this week. She's gonna try to get Mikey.
Yeah.
So anyway,
She's been fighting that car tooth and nail, man.
tell me about it. All right, people, please share and like our show, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. And let's have a good week, everybody.
Yeah.